Hey, hi. Okay, so do you all agree when I say that science is actually one of the ways of dispelling myths about the way the world works? And it turns out that there are a lot of presumptions that we make of the way the world works. For example, when we started off life, when it was considered that Earth is actually flat when it was round, right? And so I'm actually moving to this topic on emotions, where similar to the way sort of dispelling what is presumed and what is right, and a lot of research done around emotions is it turns out that emotions are displayed on the face with expressions we recognize, and that seems to be a myth. uh, Typically what we think is that whatever facial expressions that we demonstrate could be the particular emotion that we're actually demonstrating, right? So for example, is it true that we smile when we are happy, scowl when we are angry, and everywhere in the world this is what is the truth, and it's considered that this is how it is, that when we smile when we are happy and scowl when we are angry, right? Now let's look at this particular pictures, right? There's so many pictures here, and if you look at this picture to the left, right, and if you just see what these pictures mean. In fact, the pictures to the left of the little boy, and the picture, if it is just seen at the face, it's actually an expression of terror. I mean, without the context that is really there around it. If you just look at the facial expression of the little cutie boy and Serena Williams, it's that of terror. But in fact, it is a moment of the winning moment for Serena Williams, for having she beat her sister Venza, right? And the little cutie is also eating that watermelon there. When you look at it, you feel that the little baby is in terror, but actually it's just that of I mean, this is of course a winning moment, and that is total pleasure. Similarly, if you just look at this lady having a cup of coffee, maybe if you just look at the expression without the context there, one can guess whatever they feel is right for them in that particular situation. And the reason why we do this is why I put the picture to the right and in the bottom, because typically during terror, that is the expression that one has in the face, right? So when it comes to emotion, a face does not speak for itself. While this may not be 100% true, but there seems to be a lot of logic around this if you just look at the face without any context. And that's what I'm getting. This is based on the talk of one of the renowned psychologists that I was listening to. Her name is Lisa Fieldman Barrett, and it does bring in doubts in our minds when we're listening to the talk, that oh yeah, maybe facial expression need not necessarily tell you what is the emotion of the individual. And so it leads to the first fact that a face does not necessarily speak for itself, right? Especially if you look at these emotions that are right there, right? So if that is the case, our brains are actually guessing based on the facial movements as to what it means in that context. Even if there is a person who is able to read your face very well, is known to read your face very well, it's with the assumption that actually the brain is only guessing that probably this could be. And over a period of time, I think just as we all believe that the earth is round, scientists have done a lot of research, and it's come out that this is a particular expression for a particular emotion. For example, if you look at this man, can you guess whether he's surprised, he's afraid, or he's angry? It can be anything, right? So what it basically comes to the fact that these are certain presumed universal expressions that has been derived. Okay, and where did these expressions come from? Whether it is happiness, surprise, sadness, anger, fear, contempt, disgust, whatever it is. Where has this come from? It's come from research that scientists have done over a period of time, and we all have been in some sense taught that these are the expressions that typically is done during a particular emotion, right? So and you have the latest technology, artificial intelligence, and companies coming out with emotional AI apps and EI apps to actually find out the expressions of the individual and accordingly make various technology advancements. Now, we might have to be really careful to see if they really mean whether the expression actually means what it says, right? So I'm not really trying to demean the effort on AI or technology. I'm really no one to do that. But what this whole myth about facial expressions is the point that I'm trying to make is that it's a presumed one in many ways, based on sort of presumed universal expressions based on sort of over a period of time we having made those expressions, and scientists concluding that this is how a particular expression would be for a particular emotion. And you can see the example of Serena Williams or that little boy, where it is not the emotion that we think it is, if just the facial expression is displayed, right? Say the first myth is emotions are displayed on the face with expressions we recognize. So let's think about this, and I'm going to now be the next video is going to be about the second myth of gender, emotions and brains. And let's link all the three myths and have a conclusion done at the end of this series. And do not forget to LCSS, like, comment, share and subscribe. There's a link, click the link below. Thank you. Let's catch up in the second video of this series of gender and emotions and brains. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.